Well, that was a kick in the teeth. I went through that whole 5-minute video and didn't actually get any info down. So I'm going to do this again. Character sheet. You can actually download these from the 5 Emperors DTRPG page. So I wanted to show you that I could make a character in 5 minutes with this system, and I did last time, and we're just going to do it again. So the first thing you're going to want, character name, of course, and then you're going to want to actually fill it out. So there's a section in the playtest document, and I did not number these pages in this physical copy that I printed out, which this isn't right now available commercially because, well, if you actually look at it, the layout is pretty bad. Like, that doesn't look very good. This was just me experimenting and seeing how well it could translate directly. This was more of a get it done as quickly as possible thing and less of a get it done well thing. But as you can tell, it's a physical book. It looks really nice. And most of the text reads really nice too. So we're about at the 1 minute mark now. So starting the clock a little late. You want to flip ahead to this section, character creation. And the first thing you do after you choose a name is choose an archetype. There are 3 different varieties: strong, cunning, and enlightened. They're pretty self-explanatory. I think enlightened hero mathematically is probably the strongest. My favorite is the strong hero, but the most popular I found is cunning hero. Go figure. I think people like their focus slots. Those immediately give you a lot of info about the character. It gives you your effort pool, focus, the chakra you have open, and slumbering, your health levels, your skill masteries, the number of them, not the type of them, you get that later, and the type of techniques that you have. Almost all characters, I believe, have the same kind of techniques. So, this is actually very similar to the way they did it in Weapons of the Gods. So, your effort is the equivalent of your lake. That's just how many dice you roll to do actions. Your focus slots, equivalent of the river. You can hold not only dice in them, but actions as well as other things. Here you can see your health levels. You'll also note in these that the ones you don't have just have a little mark through them. So you can just physically write in these, or place in, actually the circles here are big enough that you should be able to physically place dice in them. That's intentional. So you can fill that out really, really quickly, because you have all this information just handed to you. So fill in the effort, X out the health you don't have, X out the focus slots you don't have, just leaving the ones remaining that you have open. The type of mastery that you have is going to be given to you by your lore. If you don't have a lore because you decided to be a Ronin type character, you can just choose one. The chakras are here. You'll note that they're named from the bottom, and then the chakra themselves, like the actual name of the category, is over here. With these, you can just put an X to the ones that are totally closed. The ones that are open and available, you'll put their refresh there. Usually it's 2. And the ones that are slumbering, there is an S. So you can open those up and play. You'll simply erase the S and write down their new refresh value. It's temporary. So that's all really quick, and you get that from archetype. The second thing you want to do is choose a major dharma, which are these. Those are the way you get XP. There are 7 varieties. You can make your own if you want to, but you should definitely use these as a guideline, because they give you a really good idea of the kind of actions that this game expects you to take to get XP. And what you can do to get XP and also get into trouble with some zooing. As soon as you've written that one down, and there's a little place in your character sheet for that, under the Dharmas, you'll note that you have 3 slots for them. 2 of which you can get now, and I think I have enough room for 1 more during game. Next, we choose a faction lore. All the 7 different major Kung Fu factions have a brief synopsis here. There's also below that the option for a Ronin, where you just kind of just take whatever Kung Fu that you want. That is a little more time consuming than 5 minutes, and I would suggest not doing that if you're just pitching this to your players right away. Also, these 7 factions all immediately have a nice little splat piece of art. They have an appealing name, a character quote, some info about the faction itself, including reasons you would want to play it, which is over here. Why be a member of X? Very useful, high-impact stuff that they can read very quickly. You can just hand this to them and have them flip through it. It's not very time consuming. If you go with clans, the techniques of the different martial arts are here. The novice, there are 3 of them. You simply write them down. Now right now I don't have an element of this character sheet anywhere. There's not really enough room to write down techniques, so I've been writing them on the back. Or even better, in my estimation, is do it spell style and just get a piece of paper and then write them separately. I think in the future what we're going to do is we're just going to have a secondary character sheet for your techniques. So you really only have a few more choices to make right now. Now, unfortunately, I have not gotten these lures completely done, even though we're all the way to the playtest. There's just more like specific niggling content that they should have in them. I actually passed my 5-minute mark. Technically, I have 1 more minute to make this character completely. So there's one two-prong choice you can make here. You either choose one of the 3 expert level techniques, in which case you just write that down, or you may choose one of the Gupt Kala. The Gupt Kala that they teach, as well as the masteries they teach, are right here. So, if you're doing Gupt Kala, just write down the art right there where you do a normal, right there on the back where you do an expert level technique, and write down, just put an X or a little, looks like sheeted hearts through the masteries that you have, and you'll be getting bonus to those whenever you roll them in skills. The last things you want to do is choose a weapon. I'll show you the weapon section in a second. You want to write that down. I've been having people roll a d10, and that's the kind of armor that they have available from their faction. So I'll have something more sophisticated whenever we actually get these little sections filled out there, the resources and all that. Right here, the minor Dharma, you should write that down in your Dharma section as well. Roll for your armor, and let me see if I can find this next section really quickly. Unfortunately, I did not, when I went to do the print on this, I did not number the pages, so it's a little bit wonky to flip through. You do wind up, after a while, sort of learning an RPG book intuitively, but the weapons section has a lot of info. Like, this is the section, and this whole page over here, and then this next page has even more. I put in a shitload of weapons. So, lots and lots of stuff there. But that's it! I think we actually busted our 5-minute time frame in this one, so I went into a little more detail with it. I've been giving them 3 days worth of food in addition to everything else as one of their possessions, just to give them the ability to kind of explore around a little bit. But yeah, oh, one more thing that the character archetype gives you is Aura, which is a new stat. It's up here. Boop, boop. Just the health before your health is all it is. A little shield to keep you from getting wounds. The reason I put that in is actually kind of fascinating. It helps the more powerful NPCs function as boss monsters because they're able to absorb more of those early strikes. That's what it's for. It also helps distinguish later, more powerful characters from earlier ones, so as characters get more powerful, they get a bigger cushion that makes them more survivable, which makes sense. You've invested more of them, you want them to survive a little more. But yeah, as you can see, we're under 10 minutes. I've just ran you all the way through making a character, including like the different sections of the text you want to guide players to. If you want to do your own playtest and you do it in that order, that's what it's going to look like. You'll be able to get them up and running 5-10 minutes, and then as long as you have a domain ready to go or so, and something to hook them into it with, you know, you've got the one I've been using with this Demon City, which I'm going to be making available once I finally get all of my homework done and get to the point where I can write again, is going to be, I'm just going to make that available just so you guys can check it out. And actually, there's a playtest on my Patreon if you want to listen to that. I don't know if that was a time release thing, or if that was like a $1 patronage thing, but it's there, and if you want to check it out, that's the one I've been running. And that is just, there is a Demon City, and there's a bad guy in it, Rebi Ra from the Demon City Shinjuku, and he's making a bad thing happen, and you got to stop him. And that's it. The players already know each other. I start them in front of the Demon City, so the first challenge is getting into the damn thing. And actually, do I might actually have a little map of that. It's got a bunch of stuff written down for it. I just need to type it up. I've been running it pretty consistently. Want you guys to see that? Here it is. Let's see. Do I have the map? Oh, I do. Look at my little functional map there. Isn't that adorable? It works though. I put this together according to the guidelines for content, and it's been working pretty consistently. So that's how you do it. I'm going to upload this over the crappy one I just made, and we'll see if we can get any hits.